Hi! Ayun, so for today's video, magkakaroon lang tayo ng couple of questions and would like to have an interview with TM Robecon. Kasi parang last week lang, she had a competition in, Toastmasters competition, so table topics, what else, evaluation contest, and all that. So, actually, hindi siya prepared. Hindi niya alam ko anong questions ko. So, I just prepared my questions here, and yung gagawin namin today. So, tingnan natin, no? Tingnan natin gaano kabilis at ka-creative sumagot ng isang Toastmaster Robecon. Ayan. So, okay na ba? Ready ka? Ready ka na? Okay. So, my first question sa kanya. Not really a question, okay? So, just tell us your own style or strategy of preparing for a speech competition. Right?
Interesting question.
Okay.
I joined 3 categories. We have prepared speech, which is called international speech in Toastmasters, evaluation, and table topics. When it comes to my strategies or style,
Yeah, strategy and style.
when it comes to preparing for competition, I think it's not actually the competition itself that you've got to prepare. There is a process. That's why every Sunday we actually have a meeting in Toastmasters in which we are there to enhance our skills. We are there to be evaluated. We are there to we prepare our speeches, there to perform and to be evaluated by others. So I believe that it's about the process that we actually are saying here. It's not the competition, because as speakers we don't just prepare just because we are competing, but then it's the process, like the every week meeting, it's every day practicing yourself like that.
Yeah, because the goal is not just to win that competition, but actually your goal is kind of long term and to be a transformational speaker.
So whatever your goal is, so again, it's the process that we walk through. But if you would like to ask me specific questions, like in table topics, for example, it's you maybe like looking for questions yourself and answering them, timing yourself, because I used to do that. And also volunteering when it comes to table topic timing. Yeah, you want to answer the question, and that's actually challenging yourself to answer the question. In evaluation, we can like it's not necessarily mean that you've got to be Toastmaster to evaluate. As a teacher, as a mentor, like that, you can evaluate them. We have what we call cake and kiss, the sandwich principles, in which we don't go directly to these are the things that you have to change. Rather, you're here to tell them their strength, then something to work on, and of course, concluding your statement.
I only know kiss. It's short and simple. I don't know what cake is.
Cake is like something that
Is
you
it
have
cake?
to cake, not or punch. These are the areas.
Cake, right? Cake or cake?
Cake.
A cake.
Yeah, cake. That they have to improve on, like something that they have like room for improvement.
Amazing. Okay, so you mentioned a while back, when you do your table topic session, table topics, you just raise your hand. So a series of questions is given, and then you will just raise your hand. Okay, just a short question. Simple question. Do you feel nervous during the table topics and you want to raise your hand? Do you still feel nervous?
Yeah, definitely. I believe that every person feels nervous when they've got to talk. It's just that, at first you feel nervous, but then when you're in the middle of it, like you get to be more confident. The starting point of conquering your fear, raising your hand, like there's something like a battle within, like I don't want to talk, or maybe my answer is incorrect, but you've got to step out of that, right?
Okay. Alright, so in connection to that, my second question here in my list actually is being totally prepared means you're never nervous at all?
Definitely no. I follow a lot of speakers, and they would say that being prepared is very important. It's really crucial when it comes to presentation or speech or whatsoever. But then the feeling of being nervous is still there. The first, maybe the first 5 minutes or the first 3 or 2 minutes of your talk. But then when you're in the middle, because you're prepared, it's easier for you to like take control of your audience, take control of yourself, because you know your track. This is what I would like my audience to know.
See. So the simple answer is you always get nervous.
Either online or face to face, there's still that nervousness.
And yeah, I also heard that when you're nervous, actually, it's because you are planning to give your best, right?
Agree.
All right, thank you for that.
And one more thing,
okay.
this is kind of joke. I don't know if you take it. I asked my students, why is it that we feel nervous? And because we're humans, blah blah blah, they say that. But the answer is because everybody has nervous system. That's why you're nervous.
That's a good joke. Okay, all right. So now we know why we're nervous. It's because we have nervous system. Okay, so move on to our next question. How do you stay focused during the competition despite all the pressure and nervousness? How do you stay focused? Because of course we heard the way you answer is so creative. It's so it sounds like you're really prepared for the question. But what about how do you stay focused during the competition despite everything?
I believe that it's the compounding effect of the practices that I have had as individually or in a team. Staying focused because you're feeling so nervous, it takes a lot of practice. It's the practice prior to the competition. Because joining one competition is not a guarantee that you've got to, to have the creativity, to have the confidence as automatically. It is something that you have to, it is something that we worked out. So I won't be focusing too much on that time that you've got to be focused, but it was the process before I get to have that focus despite what is actually happening around.
All right, so so that's how she focuses despite everything. All right, so next question, which is the most challenging and the easiest part of the contest? Which is the most challenging and the easiest part of the contest?
The most challenging and
because there are 3 categories, right?
Yes.
So the most challenging is
I think the most challenging is the table topics or the impromptu speaking, because first you don't have time to prepare for it, and coupled with your nervousness or what, how am I going to answer it given that you don't have time to be prepared, and whether you can answer the question or not. So for me that's challenging, because you are not aware, like there was no theme given, just the question helped. That's why for me it's challenging. So it's the most exciting part as well, because it shows your creativity, it shows how you really use your language and how you construct your ideas in a very fast pace.
What about the easiest?
The easiest? I think there's no such easy one there, because when it comes to prepared speech, it's not easy. Well, because you've got to write it, you craft it.
Okay, we get that every category is really hard when it comes to preparation and all of that. But if you were going to, to choose one, you would say the easiest among the hardest. Okay.
Maybe it's the evaluation. For evaluation, you critique someone.
And we all do that.
Yeah, we all do that. But of course, we need to follow some protocols like that. because you're given time, like 5 minutes to prepare before the evaluation. At least you have time to reconstruct things before.
I see. All right. So that would be the easiest and the most challenging category for her. All right. So moving on to my next question: why should an aspiring speaker join these kinds of competition? Why? Why do they need to join the competition if they could just, practice in their own or maybe in their class? Why do they need to?
Well, there is a different feeling when you get on the stage where a lot of people are looking at you. Because it could be that you're very comfortable in your club, like same people, same individuals, you talk in front of them, and they're friends, right? They're friends. But when you get to the next level, like there's a competition, it's a competition. You are in front of many people. You have different, and there's a sense of competition. Even if you don't really, like you would like to, but it's still a competition, right? Challenging yourself, and also the feel of when you get to win, that you are improving yourselves. And when you get higher, like for example, from club to area to division to district, like you see those people who are competing in those levels, like wow, you will really challenge yourself and say that it's not all I've got. There's so much to learn. Yeah, there's more skills to develop. There's more speeches to write. There's more creativity or strategy to enhance more.
Yes. So you get to practice how to control your emotions and how to focus, right? Because even though you're a very skillful speaker, and you don't know how to control your nervous system, it would be. All right. So thank you for that. And last question, okay? Because we already know that you're good at answering questions, even impromptu questions. Okay. So last question would be any tips. No, this is not a question, but any tips. Okay, any tips you can share to anyone who's thinking of joining one of your clubs, Toastmaster clubs, or those who are aspiring speakers in general. Any tips? Maybe you could give us 2 to 3 tips for them.
Well, first and foremost, I believe that knowing our why is very important, because joining is not just because you're motivated by someone, you heard it from someone, because that one will not take you that long, right? But because of you have your why, a clear why you're joining, that will keep you moving, that will keep you going despite whatever situation you're into. Because you want to improve yourself, you're aiming for improving your skills or what, then you get to go. That no one or nothing can stop you to get there, because you know why you're getting there. So you have to know your why. Second one is be very open when it comes to evaluation, feedback like that. Because sometimes I'm also guilty of this. Sometimes we thought that we know it, like your evaluation is not appropriate. Like that. And sometimes what we think of ourselves is not what actually is. So we welcome them. Of course, with wisdom, we welcome them and help ourselves to really improve. Because again, we are there in a club to improve our skills, not to present what we already know and like higher than anyone else. It's a community of learning, I would say. And lastly, have a target. Maybe at the end of this month or at the end of this year, you need to have a goal. What is my main goal here? I should have presented something, maybe a project we have to complete, or it should be that my going to the club has to lead me to have more network in my organization or in my business, or promotion in my work, because I can speak more what is actually worth sharing or whatever. Those 3 things. Maybe know your why, be open for evaluation,
Feedback.
that, and the last one is we've got to have a goal. Goal with a deadline, as our mentors will always say.
Alright, so those are the questions for impromptu questions for TM Robecon, and I hope you guys learned, and not just learned a thing or two, but also are inspired to maybe try to join Toastmasters Club. Do you have time to promote your?
Sure. We have actually 4, if I'm not mistaken, here in Cambodia. We have 4 Toastmasters clubs here. We have PUC Toastmasters, where I am part of. Yes, I'm part of. We have 3 more. Just click below and you will the links of the pages. So if you're interested, if you're near them, you can actually visit them. Oh no, it's not only 4 but 5. I think. Yeah, 5. We have a newly opened one. It'll be opened.
Is that the Bookish Toastmasters?
Book is just open. It's in kind of far from here.
Okay.
There's another one actually.
Okay.
So come join us and learn and see if it is something that you would like to pursue. Because if that's so, then we'll continue.
Alright. On the figure. See you on the figure.
See you in our next thought.
Diba?